Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're covering the most dangerous traps and tactics in Petrov's Defense. This opening is full of tricks that can end the chess game before it even starts. We're looking at these tricks mostly for your own safety. Our main goal is to avoid early disaster in the opening. Think of this knowledge of common traps as your opening insurance policy. We learn them to stay safe, but we also keep them in our back pocket to snatch fast and quick wins whenever our opponents slip up. Let's dive in and look at our first opening trap in Petrov's Defense. Here's Petrov's Defense on the board. It happens after common moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. Here, main theoretical move for white, knight takes e5. Usually black plays d6, attacks knight, knight goes back, and knight takes pawn. This is very common position. White plays either d4 or knight c3. Knight c3, very popular move. Black normally takes knight, then white takes with d pawn, then white castles long side, and complicated strategic battle starts. But at this moment, trap number one happens. Bishop f5. This good-looking development move is a famous blunder. Former world champion Vishy Anand played it once in a big tournament and quickly lost the game. Anand actually was not alone who blundered at this position. Several other grandmasters did exactly the same. So after bishop f5, white wins with queen e2, creating pin. Now black cannot play d5 because d3 wins knight. So they need to play queen e7. But then white plays knight d5, attacks queen, removal of the guard. Now queen cannot stay on e-file. It cannot go to e5 because knight is covering. Queen cannot go to e6 because it would be family fork here. Attacking king, queen, rook, white is completely winning. So what is left? Black needs to play either queen d8 or queen d7, and in both cases, white simply plays d3, attacks knight, and winning knight. Let's say black plays c6, white can simply go back and win knight later, or they can take, because after white knight is taken, extra piece would be taken. Here bishop e7, white has many moves. I would probably play f6 here, sacrificing pawn to break the pawn structure, and then play maybe bishop e3. So white is completely winning. This was trap number one. At the same position where I blundered, there is another trap. So after the same moves in Petrov's Defense, d6 and knight c3, queen e7 move, trap number two. This is not played by grandmasters, of course, because it looks bad. You step in with queen in front of the bishop, and white can simply play bishop e2 and get better position because white would castle and black stuck with the queen on e7. But white has forced win here. They can play knight d5. This is kind of similar to what happened to Anand. So now queen is attacked. Now black is planning discovery attack, but it's not working anymore. Let's say black does this discovery check, but white takes queen, black takes queen, and we take extra bishop. Now both knights are trapped. Knight on c8 and knight on d1, but white is up a piece at this moment. So basically, this is not working. So what else? After knight d5, queen e5 not working, we have knight, queen e6 not working because we have family fork. Again, we're attacking king, queen, and rook. So not much left here as going back. But then we simply play queen e2, creating pin. And after f5, we play d3, putting more pressure on this knight. And if black plays c6, this time we will not take because we'll win only pawn. We simply go back, knight c3, and we're winning piece because it's absolute pin. Knight cannot move. Let's play some moves. d5. Let's say take. I don't know. Pawn takes. We can maybe even play like this tempo move, and then play knight d2. Yeah, this is completely winning position. Okay, now let's move to our next trap. Okay. Knight takes e5, and usually it's played d6. Knight takes e4. This move not as bad as it looks. Some people consider this move a blunder. It's not a blunder yet. It might be blunder if black plays this line wrong. But this line actually played by grandmasters, and it leads to slightly worse endgame. So here white plays queen e2. Now, if black moves knight back, this would be trap number 3. This is beginner level trap, where white simply wins with discovery check. We go knight c6 and win queen. Check here, and queen is attacked. Even if queen blocks, we take this queen. Alternatively, we might play, instead of knight c6, knight g6 here, check and win rook. But again, this is beginner level trap, and a lot of people know it. Oh, let me show you another one. It would be our trap number 4. In the same position, people who don't know how to play further quite often play f5. This would be trap number 4. This protection of the knight not really working because diagonal, important diagonal, is open and queen comes. Now, if king moves to e7, we keep attacking. Something like this would be winning position for white with some attack. Also, white can probably take pawn here on f5, still winning position. So if we go a little bit back and we take pawn takes and we take rook, we up material, 3 points here, white is winning. If black tries to be tricky here and plays knight f6, attacks our queen, so we cannot take rook, we will take rook anyway. But first we will play intermediate move. Check, and then rook is taken next move. Let's say king moves, we take. Knight is trapped, but we're still up a lot. Let's play some move d4, and white is winning. Okay, let's go further. Okay, let's see how this line is actually played properly. Knight takes e5, knight takes e4, playable move. A lot of beginners lose games here after queen e2, but black in fact is fine after queen e7. Now white usually takes knight, and black takes knight back with a pin. So now white cannot save knight because queen will take queen. So d4 is main theoretical move. Pawn takes, and this position actually was played quite a bit by grandmasters. Currently, it's considered that black gets enough compensation for a pawn if white decides to keep this extra pawn. But main theoretical move for white here is knight c3. At this moment, there is interesting trap for black. If white plays bishop f4, this is actually inaccuracy. Looks like good move, but black has sudden g5 here. And if white plays bishop g3, this would be our trap number 5. Now black wins suddenly with f5 move. Notice, en passant is not working well here because queen will take queen. So no en passant, meaning that this bishop gets trapped. Let's say queen moves, f4, and bishop is trapped. This was trap for black, our trap number 5. Okay, let's go further and see what else we have in Petrov's. Okay, take, and at this moment there is theoretical move queen e2. Black has only move queen e7, otherwise they lose in piece, and this would be our trap number 6. A lot of beginners lose games at this moment. Knight is attacked, and they try to protect it with one pawn or other pawn or play bishop f5, and it's all the same. Let's say d5, we play d3, and knight is gone. So you cannot save knight. We can play some moves here, but this will not help much here. Let's say white is up a piece. And exactly the same, let's go back a little bit, happens if knight protected by other pawn. The same d3, knight is attacked, queen is spinning, and bishop f5 would be again d3. So this was our trap number 6. Okay, now let's go again, look at the same line. There is one more trap there. And this trap would be in main line. After queen e2, black forced to play queen e7. White usually plays either d3 or knight c3. d3 most popular move. Black usually moves knight back. And now we have symmetric position where white is trying to use this extra move somehow. Main theoretical option, bishop g5, but also was tried bishop e3 and knight c3. Trading queens, it's not creating any problems for black. In fact, black will be a little bit ahead in development because they will take with bishop. Okay, so bishop g5, main theoretical move, and black's main move is queen takes e2. But let's see, let me show you what happens here. Queen takes e2, bishop takes, bishop. Now take on f6 makes no sense for white because it will give black strong bishop on diagonal and bishop pair. So usually knight c3 played, main theoretical move c6, covering a lot of squares where white can attack, and it's roughly equal position where white tries to play long game. So I'm trying to put some pressure in middle game or maybe in end game. But let's see what happens if black tries to keep the symmetry if they play bishop g4. This is not very good move because we take, and now black needs to break symmetry, take on e2, because if they keep symmetry, this would be our trap number 7. Now white wins piece because they have extra move in this symmetric position. Do you see how it happens? Trade of queens, the move that black cannot match. And after queen takes, bishop takes, white is up a piece. Now both bishops are hanging, but white has 3 minor pieces and black has 2 minor pieces. Let's say king takes, and white is simply up a bishop here. This was our trap number 7. Okay, let's go further. So now black can try to set up trap here with queen e7 and taking on e4. Again, this is beginner level trap. Black should not play like this because they are misplacing queen. Now here white, of course, can play bishop e2 or queen e2. Better move would be bishop e2, castle, and black is sitting with misplaced queen, so white is better. But if white is not watching, this discovery check is coming next, and it would be our next trap, number 8. Let's say white plays d3 here, and then discovery check, and queen is lost. Queen here still taken, and like we had for white before with the same tactics, alternative move would be knight g3 against check, and rook is taken. But again, this is beginner level trap. Next one would be grandmaster level trap, because grandmaster actually lost game. Okay, let's see. So in Petrov's defense, at this moment, instead of going back, there is interesting move knight d3. It's actually ugly looking move, but it's well known because Magnus Carlsen played it twice in the World Championship matches. First against Caruana in 2018, and then against Nepomniachtchi in 2021. So the idea here is to regroup with queen e2 pin. So main move here, knight takes e4, queen e2, pinion, queen e7 forced, and knight f4. This is theoretical position that was reached in both World Championship games. First game was with Caruana, who played sharp line knight c6. In next match, Nepomniachtchi played normal looking move knight f6. In both games it was draw. Yeah, everybody was prepared here. But let's see what happens with knight c6. This is a sharp move, because now we can get you a lot of tactics. Knight d5, and now black needs to play knight d4. And this position actually was between Magnus Carlsen and Caruana in their match. And then main move here, knight takes e7, knight takes e2, then knight's coming back to d5 and d4, and game continues. But in one of the games, what happened here, white played queen c4. Grandmaster Visak blundered with this move. in the game against FIDE master Valery Skachkov. Actually, it looks like good move for white. Now black cannot do any discovery because the queen is hanging. And white at the same time attacks knight on d4. Looks good. The problem is that black still does discovery check. And it turns out that if you take queen, we have interesting checkmate here with two knights. See, knight is checking, other knight is covering, and we have checkmate in 9 moves. So this was noticed in the game. This was actually played. This knight c3 move was played. White noticed checkmate, played bishop e2, but still quickly lost the game. Let me show you what was happening. Grandmaster lost here with white. That's what's played. And at this moment, black is completely winning, significantly up material. So this was grandmaster level trap. Okay, now let's go to another beginner level trap. Okay, after knight f3, knight f6, white is not required to take. They have couple other moves, knight c3 and d4. Let's look at this d4 move. After d4, usually knight takes e4. Because if you take pawn on d4, then e5 push gives white a little bit of advantage. It's still theoretical line, might be played. Knight takes e4, bishop d3, and here main move is d5. There is another move here, knight c6, where after bishop takes d3, there is some central fork with d5, followed by e4, potentially. But knight c6 kind of rare move. Normally it's d5 played. But if black plays knight f6, this would be beginner level trap number 10. The problem is, if knight goes back after pawn takes, black is in the losing position. Oh, notice that if knight goes to d6, it's even worse. Then we take, and knight is actually trapped because our bishop sits 2 squares apart. This is common idea in endgames to restrict knight, but here it happens in the opening. And bishop restricts knight. So knight has no moves, and we're catching knight here. But this move probably not as likely. Knight f6, but pawn takes, and now it's trouble. For example, if black plays knight d5, we have some discovered attack here. Taken, and let's say after rook takes h7, queen takes d5, white is more or less winning. What else black can do? They can try to play knight g4, then we push, knight h6. Castle here, material is equal, but white is actually winning. It's big advantage by engine, and we can see why. White has central pawn, white has lead in development, so this is bad position. Again, this knight f6 is bad idea, and black should of course play pawn d5 and go to main lines. Okay, the next trap actually was played against me one time. So I played Petroff Defense with black, and what happened here? I took on a4, and after knight takes e5, I played d6. This is common move, and then opponent shocked me with this knight takes f7. He spent time and was able to figure out. And it turns out it's a pretty tricky position because black is losing unless they play the only move. And this is the only move, it took me some time to figure out, is queen e7, setting up discovery attack. Then after bishop 2, I simply took piece, and after castle d5, white had no compensation, black is up a piece and winning. But let's look a bit back at this tricky trap number 11. It's actually a bad trap, but I should be careful here. Okay, so it was position here, knight takes f7. So I didn't take, and why I didn't take? Because of check. I kind of didn't calculate everything here, but looked like it's dangerous for black. And then I checked later, after the game, yes, white is actually winning here. So let's say g6, then there is check, king g7, queen takes e4. Okay, what else can be done? King e7, but then pin, then d5, and then due to this pin, there is skewer, also losing. What else? King g8 would be pretty sad because it would be check, and then immediate checkmate. This is not working. So what else? King goes forward. Engine says bishop c4 is winning here. For example, let's see what moves available. King back, checkmate, not working. So king this way. Also some checkmate here, because if king goes, it's checkmate on this side. And here checkmate as well. So what else? King d7 doesn't work. So after check d5, but then check and simply take this as white winner. So it was pretty tricky one. And let me show you one more trap number 12 from Petrov's Defense. In Petrov's Defense, at this moment, instead of going knight f3, or like Carlsen did, knight d3, white can sacrifice piece, and this is the start of Cochrane Gambit. This gambit is questionable. White gets 2 pawns for the sacrificed knight, but a piece is generally better than 2 or even 3 pawns in the opening stage. Black has several ways to sacrifice a pawn and get its pieces out quickly, gets an initiative. Still, this gambit can create problems if black doesn't know how to handle it properly. Of course, king takes f7 needs to be played, and d4. Here is a tricky move. Now, strong option here is c5. For black, let me show you a little bit here. After c5, d takes c5, d5, e5, knight e4. This is considered to be quite good position for black. But if at this moment black grabs the pawn, then this is trap number 12. So here white actually winning. Queen h5. And I notice that we somehow transposed to one of the lines from previous trap. Not all lines are the same here, but this would be transposition. And we already covered this position. We just talked about it. Just reminder, if g6, then queen d5, king g7, queen takes e4, and white is winning. Okay, we are done with our examples of traps and tactics in Petrov's Defense. Remember, the main goal of studying these traps and tactics is not just to catch your opponent, but to make sure you never get caught yourself. Use this knowledge as an insurance policy to guarantee your own safety in the opening. And the best part, if your opponent hasn't done his homework, you're the one walking away with a quick win. Stay safe, stay sharp, and I will see you all in the next video.